Yay! So today we will be talking about Vampire Diaries Season 4, Episode 8, entitled We'll Always Have Bourbon Street. So if everyone can quickly turn their hymnals to page 94, where we remember that in the last episode we learned that Caroline accused Elena of being sired to Damon. And all the Delena fans were like, no! And all the Sueda fans were like, yeah! And that's, you know, basically how it happened. Well, that's how the rest of the world saw it, right? Right. So, the rumors are true. She is sired to Damon. We learned this because he told her that she needed to drink blood from a blood bag, and she did, spew it out all over his face, which, by the way, would have been so funny. Elena, drink from this. Oh, no, I couldn't. It's okay. You can. Oh my goodness. I feel bad. And that's how it should have happened. So, then we get flashed back to New Orleans, 1920s or something like that. I don't know. They were in New Orleans. 40s. It was in the ancient 1900s somewhere. We see a flashback to where Damon had his first, well, I don't know, we don't know if it's his first, but he had another encounter or instance of where someone was sired to him. This crazy bitch's name was Charlotte, and she was cray-cray. I mean, she was really crazy. I mean, it was like kind of scary. So, she basically killed people for him. It was like really off the charts, insane, and I was just sitting in my seat like this. Bitches be crazy. So we see the re-arrival of Lexi, who, if we all turn your hymnals now to page 7, where we see Lexi was Stefan's friend. Well, he was like kind of trying to get his vampirism under control, and she like helped him, but then Damon killed her in like season 1. Yeah, he killed her. Ooh. The whole point of this flashback is that he's trying to like show Stefan how he broke his first sire bond to this crazy girl, and he's saying he can do it again to, you know, they can do it again to Elena through a witch that he found. Well, this witch was also a crazy bitch. This show just seems to be have a surplus of crazy people. Like it's freaking me out. Like,
especially women.
Yeah, it is pretty much just women, and also Jeremy. Damon says that he went to this witch, and she was like, this is dark magic, darker than dark magic. It's called freckles. They're like, I don't care. It was named something I can't remember right now. Again, fact checking I don't do. I do this all from memory. This is all from my noggin. So, this certain type of magic, and he's like, is that black magic? And she's like, no, it's worse. To do this spell that will break you from your sire bond, you need to give me 12 human souls. And Stefan was like, oh my god, you killed 12 people. Well, okay, I mean, that is a bad thing to do that. But the way he said it, oh. So yeah, Damon did it, and he's like, yeah, so she totally broke the sire bond. Well, we learned that this was never a real spell. This was not legit. It was illegit. It was not legit enough, and it quit. Aha!
I see what you can say.
Yes. And so, basically, she was just using him to feed her crazy dark magic wants, and she was crazy. And I guess that was the end of that. So they go back to New Orleans, find her daughter, who they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna rough housing and good cop, bad cop, and we're gonna get this spell from you. And she's like, that spell doesn't work. You were just feeding her crazy ego. And then their faces were like, something like that anyways. It probably looked better on them than it does on me. Meanwhile, back at the Salvatore house, Elena invited Caroline and Bonnie over to have a girls' night, but surprise, surprise, since Caroline was there, she was a bitch to everyone. She's like, I am judging you. Then they're like, don't judge. And she's like, okay. But she still judged them anyways. That whole girls' night thing was like pretty much just bullshit. Like they didn't do anything. Like Elena learned that she was sired to Damon and she got really mad and sad. And so anyways, so by the end of their girls' night, when Elena is basically kicking them out because, well, Caroline anyways, because she was being a bitch, as I said, then the crazy hybrids storm in and kidnap Caroline. And we're like, no, except not really. So Elena and Tyler went to the woods to find Caroline, although I don't know why, because I don't know why anyone likes her. I'm sorry, but it's true. And so they get to the little hybrid's lair and they're like, oh, there's so many of us, we're gonna beat you down. But then Tyler is like, nope. And then like grabs the girl's heart and he's like, I'll kill you. And then she's like, no, sorry. So he finally gets them on his side against Klaus. Yay! We also learned in this episode that Haley struck a deal with that creepy professor guy. The deal was that she would bring him, or let him know, when they had 12 hybrids that were unsired to Klaus, and he would tell her about her parents. Well, she kept up her end of the bargain, and he was like, well, he told her about her parents, but then he's like, they're dead. And she's like, what? You mother. And then he's like, but they don't have to stay dead. There might be a way to bring them back, and we're gonna use this type of magic called blank. It's that magic word that I couldn't think of earlier that crazy witch from the 1900s used. So it's this really, really dark magic, worse than black magic. So my speculation is that he's probably influencing Bonnie to do this because she just trusts him too much. I knew right away that he was a bad guy. I just did. So the episode ends with everything going back to, to normal as it was at the beginning of the episode, basically. Except Damon learns that to not break the sire bond, but let people go on with their lives, he has to tell them to go away and basically not like him anymore and stuff like that. So he almost tells Elena, but she, stops him, I think. That's what happened. I don't know, everything moved really quickly for me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? I don't even want. For all you Damon and Elena fans out there, there were a couple hints in this episode that the sire bond does not mean you have to feel romantic feelings towards the other. So she felt those on her own. And for all you Stefan and Elena fans, I know you're hurting, but I bet you $1 million in about 3 episodes they'll be back together. And you know what else about this episode? Klaus wasn't even in it. all us fangirls are just crying. Disgrace.
And you know who else wasn't in this episode that I saw? Matt or April.
Matt wasn't in this episode. No! There was no one that you didn't care about. Crap. That's why this wasn't a very good episode. God damn it.
Wasn't in it?
Let me rant about this. You know what? You know what else? And Matt wasn't in it, Jeremy wasn't in it, April wasn't in it. There was no one for me to make fun of this episode besides Caroline. Like, what the frick? Vampire Diaries writers, you can't leave Matt out of an episode. I mean, you just can't. You just can't. He ties everything together. Matt is just the total package. I mean, come on. I hope you're all excited for next week's episode, episode 9. Of season 4, entitled, just wait, it's called, O Come All Ye Faithful. When I see this awesome sign off, I just perfected it in my head.